Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan. I am joined by Sam Schneider of Primetime Sports Talk. Go ahead and tell them where they can read your obituary this week that you're going to be writing on
You
Primetime
can
Sports.
find me on Twitter at buy and sell you. You can find me writing for Primetime Sports Talk at Talk Primetime or on our website, primetimesportstalk.com.
And on this show twice a week. So, I had a bunch of stuff. I had some bad stuff to talk about how we weren't stopping the run with Daniels in there. And I could talk about the red zone trips where we failed. We put up 250 yards of offense in the first half and wound up with nothing, essentially. I mean, I could talk about all that stuff, but
throw Randy in there if you want.
Oh, well, and the Randy, I said he'd miss a PAT. I had no idea he was just going to be useless.
Nailed that.
Yeah. What's funny is he hits the 54-yarder, but he misses the 34-yarder. 34-yarder is more important. I've talked a lot about how failing on your first drive sets a tone, and that definitely kind of going all the way down there, and then you doink it off the upright from 34 yards. Then you miss.
I think it's funny that I saw more people upset on Twitter and Facebook. They were more upset that he missed the 58-yarder at the end of the first half.
That one, I actually had a chance.
I'm like, okay, look, the PAT and the short field goal, I get it. Right. That sucks. The 50+ yarder he hit, awesome. The 58-yarder is just kind of we had no time left, give it a shot. Nobody expects you to hit that, and he almost did.
If you're a golfer, the first two misses was a fade. I mean, he just doesn't finish his swing. And think about the leg as a golf club. His longer kicks, he gets into it. He follows through with his swing. That's why you saw the 54, and the 58 was actually a better attempt than the 34 and the missed PAT if you understand the golf swing and what he was doing. So,
well, and the 58-yarder, it was probably good from 65.
Yeah, like I said, it was well struck.
He had it. Did you say well struck?
It was well struck, just like a golf ball. It was well struck. It was still hit well.
My buddy Pete will absolutely love that. But like he had it. It doinked off the upright. And I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to spend this whole episode talking.
No, I don't want to talk about Randy because
I don't want to talk about Randy Bullock. But I will say this. As usual, he missed a couple kicks, and that was awful. It wasn't the worst thing to happen to us today, but Randy's been really good this year. He's been really good. He's proven me wrong. I've been screaming for his head for 3 years. You know what I mean?
I've been screaming for his head ever since we let Jake Elliott go to get picked up by Philadelphia. But
agreed.
All right, so let's get to it. The nightmare becomes a reality.
No, do we have to?
Yeah, we have to. I mean, I don't want this is the last time this season I'm going to be wearing. This is a number 9. If you see me in a number 9 the rest of the season, it will be a Carson Palmer jersey. The 2 Burrows get retired till next year, and this is the last time I'm going to wear this jersey.
Don't you dare wear. I will not show up.
I won't wear a I just said if. I just said if I wore a number 9. I have like 40 jerseys. So
I know, but if you showed up in a number 9 and I knew it was Carson Palmer, I would log off immediately.
All right, well, don't. So I won't wear number 9. Thank you. You've drawn the line in the sand. I won't cross it. Okay, but the nightmare. This was everything we didn't want to see. You could see just the body language, everything changed with this team. And that goes back to our coaching staff. I really wanted to see how this team would respond once Burrow was hurt and he was out of there. And you saw this team was like a rudderless ship because Burrow is the leader. Burrow is the hope. The coaches are not. The coaches have no ability. You just watched. They were like the Walking Dead. It was like dead man walking the rest of the game.
It was a problem. I disagree with you just a little bit, only because these are all grown men, and I know that they listen to their coaches, and the coach's job is to raise up the team in a situation like that, and I get it, but man, sometimes something like that happens, and the coaching staff just can't. They just can't do anything about it.
Okay. Well,
you're absolutely right about the way they reacted.
But let's talk about let's talk about Zach at his press conference. And I tweeted out, you can look on it on Twitter. Chris Rawling, who writes a bunch of nice articles, who I interact with on Twitter, said, gee, I hope the press has some really tough questions for Zach. And I said, they won't. And brace yourself for the golly jeepers, Wally. We got tooken again presser that we're going to get from Zach. And that's exactly what we got. Did you sense a change in emotion by your team? No. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? This is where you sit there and you answer honestly at a presser. You say, yeah, but I'm not going to fault him because, this had happened, that had happened, whatever. To just answer no, that you didn't see. We all saw the change of emotion. Tells you that you're just going to get these useless press conferences out of this guy. I mean, I didn't know what to say. I sat there. I couldn't hit the angry emoji more. It was on Facebook. I was watching it stream. I'm sitting there putting as many. It stopped letting me put angry faces on the side of the screen. It froze because I hit so many angry faces. It was like, are you kidding me? No, you didn't see any change of emotion in your team. Your team was The Walking Dead.
Yeah, so, and they did. I mean, it was obviously deflated after Burrow left. I mean, how could you not be, though? You know what I mean? But what do you really expect Zach to say?
The truth.
Do you want him to say, I saw a major change. They wouldn't listen to me, and they didn't care about the game, and they didn't care about winning anymore. They were just more upset, so they gave up.
No,
is that what you want him to say, Mark?
What I expect him to say is, this was a really traumatic effect. It affected all of us. I'm not going to hold it against him. We're going to get together. We're going to regroup. The stuff that you're going to do. Don't sit there and act like it didn't happen. Asked if he saw a change of emotion. His answer was no. That's a lie. That's not doing anything. Listen, if you want to be Belichick, and
that's his job. His job is to lie.
If you want to be Belichick and you want to just keep going, I'm on to Cincinnati, get your one buzz line and just keep repeating it, that's fine. I get it. That's like, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. And you can be the Marshawn Lynch, where he would not answer and stuff. But to just actually say, come up with the response. This is what we get at every presser from Zach. So, like I said, that really bothered me because Finley's horrible.
You hate him so much.
I hate this entire coaching staff. I hate this entire coaching staff. I really do.
I actually had, before Burrow went down, I was making notes as I normally do, and I had really good things in the first half.
We haven't even gotten. I did have some good things to say, but they don't mean anything anymore. Like I was talking about how Burrow spread the ball around to 5 different receivers on the first drive, how he hit 6 different receivers in the first quarter, 12 of 15 for 111. There was a lot of good stuff. It doesn't mean anything now. I told you.
Yeah, and 21 completions in the first half, which I think is the most of any rookie quarterback ever.
But you know what the flip side was? 249 yards of offense. We generated 249 yards of offense in the first half. We had 9 points after 4 red zone trips.
Randy.
No,
come on, Randy.
We can blame Randy for not getting us the 3 points, but we cannot. We run it with Perrine inside the 5. I mean, just you look at the calls that lead to the Randy Bullock kicks, and you kind of just scratch your head. So, but I had all that. I was in the bad, and I wasn't going to bring it up because, once again, with Burrow hurt, it doesn't mean anything.
As long as this whole episode is going to be about the bad, can we talk about Alex Erickson?
Well, we can.
Alex Erickson should not even be rostered on this team.
Okay.
He is such a mess. calling fair catches on his own 8-yard line.
It was 9. Yeah, I saw him. He started at the 10 and then had to back up 2.
And then letting kicks go over his head when he's standing on the 15.
I know. And all this goes back to last week. He wasn't doing any of that before last week. It got in his head. And if we had a coaching staff, maybe
so it's a coaching problem.
No, well, you have a player. This is the guy. If you're sending someone out there, I'm playing golf, okay? I have a partner. He's not putting well today, okay? If I just dog him, I can't expect him to improve his putting. I mean, the idea is to coach him up to say, hey, listen, put that in the rearview mirror. The only putt that matters is this next putt. I've got it a cup to the left, play a small break. It's downhill, so play it above it. But you work with what you have. If you're going to send him out there, give him the tools, at least try to help him succeed. That's been my beef with this staff all along. They don't put their players in positions to succeed. And every time you hear players talk about good coaches, they all talk about how the coach puts them in positions to win.
Yeah, but
never hear that from our guys.
But what they don't talk about is how they aren't talented. And Alec Erickson is not talented.
Okay.
He's not talented.
Okay.
He shouldn't be rostered anywhere, honestly.
But
unless he's just on a cover squad on special teams. There's no reason for him to be. You know how many better people.
So you want to throw Alex Erickson under the bus and to protect the coaches.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, all right,
for sure, because it's not like this is the first year he's had this issue.
All right, we know Burrow already tweeted out "see you next year" kind of tweet, so we already know that it's serious enough to we all saw it. You and I looked at it on these clips that we had. I tried to watch.
It was backwards.
Yeah, well, the defender, just to kind of defend Washington here, we had one guy coming in from the right. I think it was Chase Young. He went high. He had his arm raised. He hit Burrow high. Okay. You had what I can see, because we never got a good replay. They wouldn't show it on TV, but the clips that we've had, I went ahead and looked at it. I can't tell who the defender is. It looks like Jonah had his guy going out wide and fed him into the end zone. So whoever the guard was there, or whoever was blocking over there, because they kind of pulled and moved around, whoever was blocking over there had the Washington defender turned with his back to Burrow, and from what I can see, is driving his defender into the ground and drives him right into the lower half of Joe Burrow's leg. And so the defender himself probably had no idea he had even hit Joe Burrow. He was just being pushed backwards. So it's not a dirty play, and that's why there was not a flag. So everybody relax about no flag.
I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan Allen and Montez Sweat that were the guys that each hit him. Chase Young was back there in the backfield.
I couldn't tell. It was number 90 was coming from the right. I can't tell who the defender is and who our offensive lineman is, but he literally has the guy turned, and there's nothing dirty here at all.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I think that's an important point to make, is that there was nothing, malicious about this. It was not a purposeful thing. It was just a play. And, we could sit here all day and talk about how the Bengals are snake bitten by things like this and things like this happening. And as a fan, I buy it. We are snake bitten. Stuff like this happens to us, in my opinion, way more than it happens to other teams. But in this situation, it's another one where if you look at it objectively, you're like, man, they didn't do anything wrong. They weren't coming after anybody. It was just one of those freak plays that just happened. And it just
to put things in perspective, the hit on Carson Palmer, to this day, I will go to my grave telling you that was one of the dirtiest plays you've ever seen. Okay, he literally, von Olfenhofen, that Nazi, literally puts his shoulder into Carson's knee and rolls the shoulder on purpose to curve the knee. So to me, that's one of the dirtiest plays ever, and it's ridiculous. And it was the playoffs, and he's a former Bengal. But one of the dirtiest plays,
which made it all sting a little bit more. I think maybe more.
This was not that play. So,
I think maybe the most telling thing in this situation is that, you know, when Burrow was being attended to and when he got put on the cart, all like, I mean, to a man, Redskins players, especially Alex Smith, and this is nearly a couple years to the day
of
that this
injury.
happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, his was far worse, at least.
Oh, yeah. So
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Burrow was able to, you know, kind of hobble over to the cart. I mean,
yeah, but
weight on the leg.
So
but
all the Redskins players came out and were slapping him on the helmet and giving him handshakes, along with all the Bengals players. You know, if anybody did something like that purposeful, you don't see that. I mean, nobody formulates a plan where we're going to hurt him bad, and then right afterwards, all the rest of you get out there and shake his hand so we don't look bad. Nobody does that. It was all genuine, and so I appreciate, you know, the Redskins, acknowledging his injury, especially with a quarterback that they're behind right now that's gone through, a similar, devastating injury.
Yeah. No, Alex Smith went through one of the most horrific. He and Bridgewater went through probably two of the most horrific leg injuries you could possibly have. This just looks. I'm hoping that this is just a straight, injury, surgery, ACL tear done, and we move on, and he's back, ready to go next year. So
yeah, I'm gonna hope he's ready for training camp, but I think it's gonna be more like preseason.
No, we'll see. And I had a couple other things. I'm not even gonna bring them up. It didn't really matter. Now, and we're gonna get back to the coaching here, and you can grab another player besides Alec Erickson and throw him under the bus. But now we're going to see the deficiencies in this staff. Burrow hid a lot of deficiencies. He did. And now they're going to be.
That's what you're repeating Archuleta.
So no, I'm not repeating. I will though, since you brought this is a segue over to something kind of amusing. You're going to like this. Spiro.
I hope it's something bad about Archuleta, because
it's not. It's not. Spiro had one of the best lines. It had nothing to do with the injury. This is pre-injury. This is all that. There's some good lines sometimes these analysts come up with. I can think of a Charles Barkley one I still repeat to this day. But Spiro said, this was his great line. The NFC East, the only division where you can be competing for the division as well as the first overall pick. I like that quote. That was a gem. So
that is good.
And I had that written down. That was going to be one of my things to throw out in a lighter moment. But since you brought up Archuleta, I brought up Spiro. Reminds me of the Barkley quote. Do you remember Bowens on San Antonio? Great defender, good outside shot.
Bowen, yeah.
Could not hit a free throw if his life depended on it. And one time at half, when I think he was 2 for 10 from the free throw line, because you would foul him on purpose because he was so bad, Charles Barkley said, Bowen is the only man in the NBA who can make one of two and improve his free throw percentage. And I love that line. So that's another one of those. But the Spiro line is very good, where you can be competing for the division and the first overall pick at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's
I'll take your coaching staff take and run with it as far as what we're going to see down the stretch. I actually liked a lot of what I saw in the first half when we had Joe out there.
Right.
I liked the play calls, the snap passes. I liked the fact that we were using Gio a lot in the passing game, because that's his strength. Even though I think in the game we totaled like 70 yards, and that was with an 18-yarder from Finley. And
he scrambled on a 3rd and 15. He scrambled for a first down.
Yeah, and like a 2 or 4 yarder from Erickson. So I don't know. Take those away, you got 52. So now you're talking about between Pirine and Bernard, you've got 50 yards rushing on I think 18 carries. It was like 9 apiece. The big issue I saw, and obviously the coaches weren't prepared for this, but the big issue I saw when Burrow went out was Finley is a 4 or 5 step drop back guy. Burrow got comfortable with just doing a quick shuffle after he got the snap and getting the ball off very quickly. And the reason all of a sudden, don't get me wrong, the offensive line gave up in the second half. After Burrow went out, the offensive line gave up. Make no mistake about that. But
they also on your boy really, Turner. Come on.
But they also didn't really know. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. They didn't know how to protect a guy that was going to take a 5-step drop back. You would think they did because guys do that in college.
Well, so. I don't think it was that. I think it was that they, once again, Burrow hides a lot of deficiencies. Burrow was getting rid of the ball quickly, and there was 0 sacks up to that point.
Yeah, but Finley, but somebody coached him to do that, Mark.
Right, but then Finley is standing there like he's got all day.
Right.
3, 4, 5, boom, he's gone. I'm like, that should have been gone at 3.5. That shouldn't. Yeah. You shouldn't even get to say the word 5.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I mean. So I agree with you.
Was Finley.
I agree with you that we're going to see what's going to happen with the coaching staff going forward because they're going to have to either coach up Finley or find somebody else off the street because I think we both agree that Finley is not an NFL quarterback.
No, he's nothing. He's nothing. I would actually prefer, and let me know your take on this. I don't think Jake got a fair shake 2 years ago when Andy was on the team. When we brought Finley up and used Finley to replace Dalton, I wanted Jake to come in, Gogala. So why not see what we got? We are going to need to go into the draft. We're going to need at least 3 quality offensive linemen out of this draft. We're going to need more defensive help. We're set at the skill positions, but we're going to need a backup quarterback, a real backup quarterback if Jake's not it, because you and I both agree Finley's not it. So
no, he most definitely isn't. And I guess he can be it if you already know you're going to suck the rest of the year anyway.
Oh, we can leave him out there. I just would like to see what we have with Jake. That's all.
Yeah. So you can you can keep running him out there, I suppose, but he's just playing a different style of quarterback than any of the linemen are used to. I mean, they're not used to a 5-step drop. They can't protect you that long. They can't do it. No, so he kept going, chop. I'm dead.
No, and then you get the happy feet, looking, and you're just sitting there going, dude, how much time do you think you have
time to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, he was, when he came in, he finished the game 3 for 10 for 30 yards and a pick.
Yeah.
And he played nearly the entire second half.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's like I said, we're gonna see a lot of the deficiencies of this staff.
He couldn't even dump it out to the running backs, Mark.
What's that?
Couldn't even dump it out to the running backs.
It was. And then, did you notice the Andy Dalton-like play on 4th down? At the very end, when we're he scrambles out, he breaks free, actually has time and underthrows his receiver by like 10 yards. It was closer to the Washington defender than it was. You got to sail it out there. It's 4th down. What are you saving it for? Who cares if it's intercepted? You pick up 15 yards. You're better off with the pick.
Like, what I appreciate most about that is that you said that it was only one play. Because man, he threw that ball at the defender's feet when our receiver was behind the defender.
Right.
It had to be 6 times.
Oh yeah.
You got a guy, there's a guy in front of him, and you threw the ball into the ground
10 yards short of the
guy
in
front of that dude.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it didn't get picked off. That's great. But you literally. I mean, he could have been called for intentional grounding on some of those.
Vance Meek, who I follow on Twitter a lot, he's got the Deadpool as his emoji and or his what do they call it, an avatar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vance Meek had a good tweet. He said, and I 100% agree with him, is start rooting for Jacksonville, start rooting for the Jets, guys.
I saw that.
I mean, if we can bag one of the first two picks, we can trade the pick for either Lawrence or Fields, and all of a sudden we could have a new offensive line. We could have that backup quarterback. We could have a lot of things, because now I was very adamant about not trading the pick and taking Burrow. Burrow's our guy. I'd be all up for trading one of those picks for 5 first-rounders, or the boatload of picks, and loading up, and that's one of the things. So start rooting.
Even if we were able to get like top 5,
we can get up there.
We could do some damage trading that away.
Well, we don't even need to.
It wouldn't be till draft day. We would just be like, our pick would come up and we would just sit there like,
just wait.
Okay,
yeah,
who's gonna call?
Yeah, I think back on the draft with it. I'm not trying to bring John Ross into the conversation, but I think back to that draft because
you clearly are.
I'm talking about the pick here, not how we wasted it. I'm talking about the pick here. The pick behind us is the one that the Chiefs traded into to get Mahomes. And I always wondered, it's like, man, if they had just needed the urgency to trade with us, we weren't in quarterback shopping, so I'm not upset we didn't draft Mahomes. The Chiefs clearly had Mahomes targeted. Andy didn't want to risk it
to get that haul.
Yeah, we could have had the haul, and we wouldn't have had Ross. We would have had whatever all those picks were, and would have been much better. So,
or we would have been like, "Oh, you have a scouting department. Mahomes is good. Okay, no, we turn you down. We'll take him."
No, we're not that smart. So, but
not nearly.
All right. Well, that's what I have. That's I think that's everything. Oh, my last little nugget, and this is here we go.
I got a whole page of crap here, and none of it matters.
No, I know. And here's my last little thing, and this is once again on the coaching staff. We put Joe Mixon on the IR this week. Okay, so he's gone for probably another 3 to 4 weeks, and he's been gone for what, 3 to 4 weeks. He should have been on the IR. I mean, I get it. The first weekend, maybe you don't know the injuries is bad. You're hoping to get him back, but we're looking at a player who's not going to play for 8 weeks, and we did nothing with that roster spot until now.
Right.
So just another indication of how competent our coaching staff is.
Well, I will say this, and I know I always sound like I'm defending our coaching staff.
You are.
I'm really not. I'm really not. Like, I want Anarumo gone. I'm not a fan of Johnson. I don't have a problem with Taylor. But
golly jeepers, Sam, really?
The only gosh, Wally.
Golly.
The only thing I'll say is, if you haven't noticed this in the last 10 years, then you're not a Bengals fan. This has been our MO for so long.
Yes.
No, we think he'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon. IR. We do it every year with somebody else. Last year it was AJ. We do it every year with somebody different. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not defending it. My question is, and I was talking to a friend of mine today, is our team doctor like Mike Brown's nephew?
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Like, does our team doctor know what the fuck he's doing?
Okay, where did you go to school? And if it's some third world country,
is he even really a doctor?
Right.
Because every year he's like, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's not going to be fine.
Do you remember the doctor in 30 Rock where he kept giving that horrible advice to all of us?
Oh yeah,
yes,
always.
That's who our doctor is. That's him. If you guys don't know that,
it's either as long as I can remember, and I am 42 years old. As long as I can remember, our team doctors and our strength and conditioning coaches have been by far the worst in the NFL.
Crap. Say what they are.
Far.
Crap.
I mean, they go out for their first practice in OTAs, and people are straightening biceps and pulling hammies and yanking calves. And I'm like, I could tell them what to do in the weight room. And the team doctor is like, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think he'll be
You know
fine.
what? If he can move it, it's not
weeks later,
broken.
he's like, nah, he's probably done.
But Doc, it hurts when I do this. All right, don't do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just don't do that. You don't really need to use that hand, do you?
Right.
So, all right. Well, with that, I think I covered everything I had on my list. I talked about I covered it all.
I mean, at this point, I don't care about my list.
Well, and I had talked about, I actually had some nice things to say. I talked about how we stayed out. We had positive first downs in the first half, and we stayed out of the third and longs. That was just why we moved the ball. I said in our preview, we're going to move the ball between the 20s very well. And that we did do that in the first half. But
I thought on defense in the first half, we played reasonably aggressive when they got to third downs. And when we actually took that lead, we kind of held it through into the third quarter, stayed aggressive, threw some blitzes up there, and I was happy about that rather than the soft zone and the easy zone.
Well, everybody needs to kind of understand what we're going to see over the next the rest of the season. This is going to be like the end of last year. I mean, I personally, at this point, and this is how I feel right now, and I'm in the moment, with the Burrow injury and everything, but I texted you, I said, I just as soon lose out the rest of our games, and sure, we get a top 5 pick, maybe get to the top 2, and let's get Burrow an offensive line. I mean, if we're sitting there, like I said, I completely agree with Vance Meek. We need to root for the Jets, root for Jacksonville, and try to get our ass into the top 2 picks. And and I don't even think we have to go out of our way to do that. When you saw what we had with Finley, what we have coaching-wise and talent. I just don't see now all those games. We're not beating Miami. We're not beating the Giants. We're not going to beat Pittsburgh. Now there's a lot. I don't know.
We can beat the Giants.
The Giants are playing very good, and the Giants, much like this Washington team, are playing for something. Remember, they're playing for either the first overall pick or they're playing for the Giants. So, like I said,
we can't beat Miami.
Not with Finley.
We can't beat Miami. We can beat the Giants.
No, I just said now you look down our schedule. You tell me on our preview show Thursday, you tell me where our next win is. Okay? Right. You tell me where our next. You look at that schedule. You look me straight.
I'm half joking, to be fair.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I don't. And it's fine. It's okay. We have 2 wins. We get the draft pick. We make hay. So now, like I said, become a Jacksonville fan, become a Jets fan, and start rooting for those teams to win.
I put make hay in my article today for the preview.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
So, all right. Well, you're heading back to Cincinnati, I understand.
I am. I'm tonight. My flight leaves LA at 6 a.m. It is. I don't even know right now what time it is. Probably 3 o'clock.
Something like that.
LA time. So
2:19. You're ahead of yourself.
6 a.m. I fly back to Cincinnati, and I am staying for a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be in the heart of it all.
You'll be in the heart of it all, eating your Skyline chili, which somebody commented on something. I'm not a Skyline chili guy. I've tasted it a couple times, and I don't get it, but I'm not from Cincinnati, so I know.
What is wrong? What is wrong with you?
It's got to be an acquired taste, I guess.
It is an acquired taste. It's one of those things where you've eaten it for so long when you grow up and whatnot that it just becomes
the rankness is something you have a fondness of. That's all.
Yeah, it's honestly, when I land at CVG, there's not a Skyline there. There's a Gold Star, which is not as good, but I go straight to the Gold Star and immediately get Coney's before I even go down to get my luggage.
Okay. Well, so we will actually have one of us, and we'll actually be in the state of Ohio for a bunch of our shows coming up. So there you have it. That's something good, right?
Well,
golly jeepers. Golly jeepers, Sam, this is going to be swell.
Oh, gee,
this is going to be swell.
I'll take my gosh darn flag with me.
Right. I apologize. I forgot to turn my phone off. So you guys are going to have to hear that. It just is what it is.
Nobody cares.
This is live recording, guys. And it's something I forgot to do. I was still mulling over so you won't hear the recording pickup. So with that, We're gonna wait till that ends. I know this is the high production that we have here on Zoom.
I mean,
it's done. There you go. Good.
Yeah, we're high tech.
Right. Well, this is a newsroom. You know, this is Bengals headquarters. This is Bengals West.
That might be Schefter. Is that Schefter?
Wait. Hey, what? You know what? I don't know. I'll check the voicemail after. But with that, we will put a preview up Thursday. Usual, you know, right? We'll film it right around halftime. It'll be close to Sam's bedtime because it'll be East Coast time. But,
if you think I go to bed that early, you are sorely mistaken.
Joking. I'm just joking. So, and you can continue your defense of the coaching staff on Thursday, and we will go from there. And I want to go Houday with some enthusiasm, but it's a dark day in Cincinnati.
Oh, come on, Mark. Come on, Mark.
Houday, everybody.
Houday.
Actually, what I would like to say is our best to Joe Burrow. You are the man. We love you. You can see how much you mean to us, and speedy recovery. That's it. So,
Joey B.
Take care, everybody.